What's up, y'all? We're back again with another session of Mike and T Talks. As always, we have some controversial topics today, and we are here for all the comments, all the input. So we're just going to dive right in. First topic we're talking about today is what's one piece of relationship advice that you live by? I've been given a lot of relationship advice in my life, whether it came from friends or family, but the one piece of relationship advice that I said that I would have to always live by is that you have to pick and choose your battles. Because sometimes the battle just really is not worth it. When you find yourself arguing over who ate the last cookie or who drank the last little bit of milk, it's a battle that is not even worth fighting. And my mom actually gave me that piece of advice when I got married to Michael. Because in the beginning, even after marriage counseling and everything, you do find yourself arguing over petty things when you look back on it. And I specifically remember a conversation that I had with my mom where she was just like, baby, you have to pick and choose your battles because you can't keep doing that. You can't just constantly be coming for this man about everything, 'cause there are always going to be disagreements in a relationship. So if it wasn't for her, I don't know, maybe we would still be arguing.
I doubt it. And you grow, you figure things out.
You do, but I'm a controversial individual. You know that. I'm
Yeah,
always down to speak my mind and give my point of view.
that's for sure. That's for sure.
So, babe, if you had to choose one piece of a relationship advice that you just absolutely live by, what would it be?
Keeping others out of your business.
Man,
That's a very big one.
that's an important one. I flash back to like telling your parents or somebody close to you in the family that you then got into it with your significant other, baby, you might be over it,
Yeah,
but they gonna hate you for life.
that's why it's just they don't need to know. Just keep it amongst yourselves and just deal with it. You know, and if you so happen to go around them, you know, keep it to where they would never know
Man.
that maybe y'all just had an argument or y'all ain't feeling each other today.
And I'm so
What?
big on that. And you know I am because, so, fun fact about Michael, when you get to know him, if you're in like that circle of friends or family, his emotions show on his face and in his attitude. Like, if he not in a mood and you know him, you gonna see it immediately.
Mm.
So I do vaguely remember one time we had probably just got into it, like it was a fresh argument, and we were going to like a family event, and he walks in and his aura is just off, y'all. It's just stank, and everybody that knows him, once again, we're around his family, so everybody's like, "What's wrong with Michael?" They're coming up to me, right? I'm the fiance coming up to me. What's wrong with Michael? What's going on with Michael? Listen, y'all, I pulled him into another room so quick and was like, "Hey, get it together, cause I am not finna have these folks thinking that I am just this horrible person, and they know you've been with me. So
Yeah.
who else didn't, set you off?" And he got it together. I'm a firm believer that, man, me and him could have gotten into an argument in the car, but when we walk in to wherever we're going,
Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, yeah,
I'm talking, we smiling in each other's faces, we holding hands. He might give me a little peck on the cheek. You will never know unless I done said something or unless you see a little slip.
right.
But definitely a great piece of relationship advice is to keep people out your business. That goes for friends too. Friends do not always mean you good in a relationship.
Especially the ones that don't want to see you happy.
Right. I mean, and that saying, misery loves company, that is the truth. So if you got a miserable friend and you bring that negativity to your miserable friend, they finna try to make sure you single too.
Yep.
Had
Jealousy.
that experience too.
Ooh, man.
Had that experience a couple times actually. People don't Some people are not really your friends. Some people don't really want to see you thrive unless they're thriving, and it's really sad, but it's the truth. It is the truth.
It is true.
And most of the time, Lord, I hate to say it. Well, you know what? I can't even say that most of the time it's females, because sometimes it be males too, and y'all just do y'all stuff real, real sneakily.
Do you dirty.
Do you real dirty behind your back, and you would never know that it was your boy that
Ooh,
was doing this to you.
small circles.
Small circles. But yeah, I mean, there are just all types of relationship advice out there. Actually, found an article that gives 19 golden pieces of relationship advice from experts. Once again, y'all, it's an article. We're not reading this whole article, but I'm going to give y'all these bullet points, and then I'm going to link this article if you yourself want to go back and read through it. I'm going to possibly give y'all all 19. Oh, no, I ain't made up my mind yet. Number one is that it's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy.
Hmm,
We just talked about that yesterday.
right,
It is your responsibility. You are responsible for your own happiness.
right. And number two, effective communication is not just about what you say.
I agree with that. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Because sometimes what you're saying is something that the other person needs to hear, right? But the way that you're saying it is blunt. Like you don't care about your partner's feelings at all. So you just like, I'm just gonna say this.
Oh, yeah.
We went through that.
Yes, we
I
have.
had to tell you that, listen, I'm your girl. If you ain't supposed to sugarcoat for nobody else, you supposed to sugarcoat for me. Moving on to number three is identify your love language. That's a big
Real
one.
big one.
I feel like this could be a separate topic just on its own. And I actually wouldn't mind making that a topic one of these days to figure out exactly what both of our love languages are.
And number four, RESPECT.
If
Respect.
you don't have respect, y'all, in the relationship, what do you have?
Right.
Just being real.
Yeah, you gotta respect each other. And most importantly, respect yourself.
I think that's good because I think you could potentially lose respect for yourself in a relationship. So I think that's a good one to respect not only your partner but yourself too.
Definitely.
Number five is have clear boundaries. And I think not only having those boundaries, but expressing them and not being afraid to express them is a big thing. Like, I have boundaries in our marriage, and I express those when and if I need to. And I feel like it's a safe environment to do so.
Number six, you know your values.
Oh, that's a big one. I know when I first got with you, one of your main values, man, was to always put God first.
Yes.
And
Still
because that
is.
was right, I said was, but is like, and because that is such a big value for you, you actually got me back into the fold
Right.
with just my religion in general. I still got some work to do, but
Yeah, we all do.
you know,
And it's been instilled on me since I was a little boy. So
and you carry that.
yeah.
And I really hope that's something that our daughter carries
Yes.
too. Moving on to number seven, let go of the small stuff, which is the same as picking your battles.
Yes.
Y'all, I've seen couples argue over like the last person to put a bowl in the sink. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally let the small stuff go, because at the end of the day, is it really worth the argument that you're getting ready to have in the first place?
Right. Just leave it in there. leave,
or
yeah,
clean it.
clean it. Just leave it alone. If you can't avoid the fight, fight fair.
Ooh,
Hmm,
that's a big one.
that's real big.
We had to learn how to fight fair.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say that we ever like hit below the belt, but it was one of those things where like because I used to be a leaver. Like I get mad at you, cool, I'm gonna hop in my car and I'm gonna leave. And that's not really fair to you
no,
in the middle of an argument because you don't know whether I'm coming back.
right.
You don't know what I got going on.
Definitely didn't solve anything.
Right. Number 9 is parents. Don't forget about your partner. So that's a big one too. When you become a parent, man, you go through a phase that I have heard called the roommate phase,
Hmm.
where I mean, that is your partner, that's the person that you made a baby with, but for the time being, because all of your attention is focused on this baby, you kind of forget to be a partner. And that's a big deal. We eventually made our way back to each other, but some couples don't.
Yeah, some couples don't. All right, moving on. Number 10, make time for date night. Oh yeah, we do this.
You've done so good with this because when we first had Mari, we didn't have time for date nights.
No,
And also, I was like a worrisome first time mom.
just early on, we just always wanted to be there. So
Yes.
I can understand that. It takes a whole lot of adjusting.
It
So
takes adjustment and it takes effort. I mean, and I mean, the effort has been put in. Like, when I tell y'all that he'll get off work some days and be like, hey, meet me here so we can have a little day date because her grandparents are picking her up from daycare. And I know he probably doesn't see it. And I'm not one for just like a whole bunch of affectionate talk and all of that, but I really appreciate it for sure. Number 11 is don't neglect the importance of intimacy. And I feel like that kind of just speaks for itself.
right. Number 12, leave a toxic relationship. Ooh,
It speaks for itself too.
it speaks for itself.
I mean, that's some good relationship advice. If it's not working and it's toxic, leave it.
Don't do toxic.
Yeah, you used to. Number 13 is that long distance relationships can work. We have never had experience with that,
Nope.
but there was a time where we could have potentially had experience with that, and I was just gonna fly out every weekend. You was gonna see me, I was gonna see you
Oh yeah. Trying to what was I trying to do? Trying to find a job
in the Dallas
in
area
the Dallas area. It just wasn't hidden up here.
like it needed to.
Yeah. So 14, maintain your sense of self.
I think that's an important one too. We talked about that the other day, not losing yourself within a relationship.
All right. Oh,
15,
say it with me. Keep
keep
the
the spark
spark alive.
alive.
Yeah. Gotta
We
keep that
hear
spark alive.
that so much. And you can tell the relationships, even in our lives, that still have the spark.
Yes. That's a good one. 16, regain broken trust.
See, you don't have to regain it if you don't break it in the first place.
That is
But
so true. We don't have to worry about that.
nope,
We
that's
have
also
trust
another
over
topic
here.
for another day.
Yes, definitely another topic for another day.
17 is be supportive in stressful times. You're going to have them. So you might as well be the support and the person that your partner knows that they can lean on no matter what.
Right. If y'all committed as y'all say y'all are, y'all in it together. Number 18, be patient and be realistic.
Because sometimes patience does not come easy. So you have to be realistic with the fact that your partner is changing and growing for the better and that it takes time.
Definitely takes time.
And last but not least, love and fear go hand in hand. It's probably the most realest thing that I've heard in a while. Same thing as like a thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a thin line between love and fear.
I just want to say this quote that's up in here.
Okay.
Love is the biggest risk we take. When we love, we open our hearts, our minds, and our bodies and our souls to another, and as such, nothing renders us from more vulnerable to being hurt and experiencing loss.
So yeah, fear definitely goes hand in hand.
Definitely, that's powerful. It's a powerful quote,
It
real powerful
is.
quote.
Because, I mean, you either have to, it's kind of all or nothing, you know?
Yes, all or nothing.
So, again, this article goes, more in depth on these points. And it says that there are 19 relationship tips from experts. I'm assuming relationship experts. So, I'm going to link that in the comments. If y'all have any experiences, input, we want to hear it. We always want to hear it. So, we're moving on to what does being on a break mean? Personally, I don't do breaks. We're either together or we're not together. Because I feel like a break makes a person feel like they have a pass to do
To do
something
whatever. Yeah,
and then come back to that relationship and be like, okay, I got it out of my system. We're not on a break anymore. No, because whatever you did when we were quote unquote on a break, when you were supposed to be thinking about the relationship, instead, you chose to go do something else. And of course, draws me back to one of my favorite shows, favorite episodes, the one I'm talking about, Friends, where Ross is like, we were on a break
yeah,
and slept
yeah.
with the girl, and
Oh,
then they got
Ross.
back together the next day. And she says, so in a way, I sort of kind of blame Rachel, and I could be the villain for saying that, but like, you never laid out the terms for a break.
That's true.
And fun fact, Michael did try to put us on a break at the very beginning of our relationship, but like I just said, I don't do breaks. So it was either we were going to be together and try to figure it out, or we were just not going to be together.
Yeah, they put her foot down. She wasn't letting it happen.
Nah,
So there was no break.
no, I was not with it at all. So,
I just think sometimes with a break, some people genuinely need time to think, make sure that is really what they want to do.
I was just about to say, so like elaborate on that. So just like think about whether or not they're really in the space to be in a relationship
Yeah, like they really like you, but they don't want to take you down. You know,
through whatever they're going through.
right? They don't. They want to get themselves together, or they're still getting themselves together, but they want to be their best version of themselves for you.
I can respect that. I can respect a person being like 100% forthcoming with that and being like, so I need a break because of XYZ.
But like you said, you have to lay that out up front.
Yes. Yes. You can't just
Yeah.
look somebody in the face and be
I
like,
need a
this
break,
is too hard. I need a break.
and then just be yeah,
Because what does that mean? Like, to like I said, a break to me means that you're thinking about the relationship and you're either gonna come back better for it or you're gonna come back and let that person know, like, hey, I realize that I'm not ready to be in a relationship. A break should not be being on a break with somebody, going to go sleep with somebody else or fool around with somebody else,
like
and then coming back a couple days later and basically being like, okay, I got it out of my system.
or act like ain't nothing happened.
Right. In the spirit of just breaks, period, I have two Am I the Asshole stories. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first one is, am I the asshole for taking a break and not being sure of what I want? Automatically, I say yes because you say you're not sure of what you want, but we go read it anyway. For context, me, 23 female, and my boyfriend, 23 male, have been officially dating for a month. Before we started dating, only a month had gone by after he broke up with his ex girlfriend of 2 years. That's really fast to get in another relationship. A month
What?
says there was no cheating, but it was fast. Meaning, I guess they didn't. He didn't cheat with her, but it was a fast relationship to get in after 2 years. Jesus.
Yeah.
Lately, we had been having discussions about how he constantly believed that he was not enough for me. He was afraid he'd lose me. He deals with low self esteem. I tried to reassure him that everything was all right, that I loved him and would help him heal. But the conversations started happening on a daily basis, and he constantly blamed himself for everything and told me he couldn't do anything right. One day, we talked over the phone and made up, and I told him that later that night I would go out with my friends to celebrate my best friend's birthday, so I would not be on my phone that much, but I told him I'd text him when I got home. As I went out with my friends, he went out with his and got extremely drunk. I was chatting with him, but my focus was on my friends and being with them, and he started calling me nonstop. I did not pick up and asked him over chat if something was wrong. I had been drinking too, but I could have Ubered somewhere if he needed. He said nothing was wrong and kept calling me. He ended up calling me 10 times while I desperately told him I wanted my space to be with my friends, but he did not understand. The following day, we talked about it, and I told him I was feeling a little controlled, to which he broke down and told me again it was all his fault. He told me he was the kind of guy that called until someone picked up, and that if I loved him, I'd have to understand that. I must add that over the time we had been together, he would call me at 4 a.m. when I had early exams the next day, or when I had friends over, he called to say he felt sad and I had to stay with him on the phone. I asked for a break to think things through. The first day of the break, he called me crying and told me he missed me. I told him that I needed space and he was not respecting that, to which he replied that he needed me and I was not respecting that. Ultimately, we are on good terms and I suggested he tries therapy and he promised to see a psychologist this week. We are still on a break. Honestly, I do not know whether I can be with him anymore. I'm going to study abroad this December, and I do not know if the relationship will be able to hold up if I'm miles away and in different time zones. No, you are not the asshole for taking a break. That is, oh my gosh, that was a lot
That
reading.
was like,
I understand, like, wanting to hear someone's voice or be in someone's presence, but oh my gosh,
ooh,
that's like love bombing to the like overall extreme. Oh my gosh.
man.
So,
Hopefully, he got the help he needed.
because he needed some help.
Definitely.
So, no,
It's a little extra.
not the asshole at all. You did what you had to do, sis. And I don't know if I would have asked for a break. I think I would have just been like, hey,
This is what
this
it
ain't gonna
is.
work.
I think she said she went to study abroad. Kind of feel like she had already kind of moved on in a sense.
When you're going through all of that with a person, like, it's not fair to take your psychological issues out on another person. Even if y'all are on good terms, like, you can't do that to somebody. You can't manipulate somebody like that and expect for it to just be okay.
Yeah, that.
And I don't do clingy personally. Like that that's not a thing. In friendships and relationships, I cannot do talking to you every day. Me and you don't even talk every day. I live with you. So
Right,
there's no need. Now, some days, yeah, we might sit on the phone for a couple hours, but just like blowing up your phone, I only do that when I need something.
right.
But if you out with your boys, like, when you go out for drinks to watch a fight or whatever, what I do? I'm at home.
Chilling.
I'm asleep.
By the time I get here, sleep.
I'm knocked out. Call me if you need me to come pick you up if you got too drunk or something. But otherwise, do
Chilling.
you, boo?
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, that was a lot. Okay. We got one more. Am I the asshole story? This one is: Am I the asshole for sleeping with a girl when in a relationship break? So I'm a 22-year-old guy. I met a very sweet girl about 10 months ago and have been dating for the past 8 months. About 2 months ago, we got in a fight and she told me she wanted a break and just pretty much ghosted me. Ooh.
Ghosted.
She wouldn't answer calls or texts for about 7 or so weeks.
Oh no.
I thought it had just ended between us because of how much time had passed. I was pretty depressed about it all and ended up hooking up with some random Tinder girl. 2 days ago, my girlfriend finally called me back and wanted to resume our relationship. Her words. I felt guilty and told her I had slept with another girl, and she got really angry at me and told me I cheated on her and just stormed off. She isn't responding texts again, so am I the asshole? Nah, bruh. You haven't talked to me in 7 weeks? You not answering no phone calls or no text
That's
messages?
almost 2 months.
That is a ghost. Like that's ghosting.
A lot can happen in 2 months.
That is ghosting though. Like you not okay, so y'all are on a break, but that gives you the right to not communicate at all. And then you get mad and say that you were cheated on. No, you weren't, sis.
What were you doing?
For 2 months and you not talking to nobody for real. Like what were you doing?
Yeah, for 2 months. That's like I said, a lot can happen in two
A
months.
lot can happen in 2 months. You can fall in love in 2 months.
Dang. Did she ever say what she was doing? Did
Nah.
he ever say?
Nope. Not
Oh,
in this story.
we'll
She
never know.
never said what she was doing. She just kind of spent the block. So 9 times out of 10, if she called back and was like, "I'm ready to resume our relationship now," something was going on.
Yo, I wouldn't even have. I probably wouldn't even. He said they were boyfriend and girlfriend. They just taking a break. I honestly probably wouldn't even like
Well, you mean to tell me you weren't entertaining anybody for almost 2 months?
2 months.
Nah, I don't believe that.
After the first couple weeks.
After the first week, I'm done with you. I don't hear from you for a week. As far as I'm concerned, you fell off the face of the earth and you died.
Yeah, then he like he said, because you're on a break, don't mean you just completely ghost a person.
No,
That don't even make sense.
that's stupid.
Real stupid.
Whew. I'm glad we read these stories because I really thought that they were going to be like, yeah, you are. No.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy.
So, in conclusion, y'all, if you going to take a break, please lay out the circumstances of that break before actually taking one so that your feelings not hurt in the end or you don't end up losing a relationship in the end.
Right.
Once again, not relationship experts. That wasn't advice.
Kind of was. Kind of wasn't.
Kind of was, kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
All right. Second to last topic, we are talking about what relationship made you realize you wanted to be single for a while.
Oh man.
I know you know. I know you have a relationship that made you want to be single. So do you want to go first or do you want me to?
Do I have you go first?
Okay. You do. All the relationship stories you told me, that's one that I can think about in particular.
Mm, mm.
But um okay, so don't judge me. This is a long time ago. But there was a relationship that I was in that was basically so bad or so inconsistent as far as us dating and being in a relationship. I was in college. So, you're in college, you're basically on your own as an adult. But when you're dating someone who's not in college
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't have the time like you have the time and doesn't have the freedom like you have the freedom,
Mm-hmm.
it can take a really bad toll on your relationship. Um, I knew it was time for me to be single for a while when I actually contemplated cheating in that relationship
Ooh.
because I had a friend
Mm-hmm.
that would, and I mean, I guess you could say a childhood friend. We had known each other since high school. But I had a friend that if I needed him, could be in a whole nother state, could be anywhere in, well, I say in another state, but anywhere in another city.
Mm-hmm.
And if I put out the distress signal, they're on cue. No questions asked, would pull up and just, I mean, would just sit and talk to me. Like, we never took it there. Like, I never actually cheated in the relationship that I was in, but he showed me that what I was getting in my relationship was not, it wasn't what I deserved. I deserved for somebody that I actually call my boyfriend to be there for me. And it's bad when you're looking at somebody that you considered a childhood friend and being like, man, should we take this step since you're like always here? And I'm talking about like, I could have got in a relationship or in an argument with that boyfriend and called my friend and be like, hey, we just got into it. I'm really messed up right now. I just need to talk it through. It was an all right, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 20, 30 minutes. I was living in Conway.
Right.
So, and what made it even worse was that this person never had like their own reliable way of transportation, but somehow always made it to me. That's dedication.
Yeah, it's dedication.
So, I knew when I was contemplating cheating, and I'm not a cheater, that it was time for me to be single and figure out what I really wanted from my next relationship, because like I had to reevaluate. It makes you reevaluate when you realize that somebody else is putting in that effort that your own boyfriend is not putting in. So it wasn't necessarily like a, come to blows between me and that ex. It was just a thing where it's like, man, I'm getting treated this way by somebody that's not you. But you're the person I'm with. You're the person that I'm claiming out in public. You're the person that I'm basically looking stupid for if something goes wrong. But you can't do this for me. You can't be here for me the way that I need support. And I needed support in college because I had been broken down so bad that I needed that support and reassurance. Like I will be honest, I was not sure how to make myself happy for a long time. I didn't learn how to do that until I ended that relationship. Took about a year to 2 years to get to know myself, and then you came in the picture. When you came in the picture, I was happily single. I was okay to be alone.
Same.
And I mean, I wasn't knocking that. If I wanted to go out, I could go out. If I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, I could. But in the back of my head, did I want a relationship that was going to be stable and last? Absolutely. So went back to working on myself and came out for the better.
Worked out for you.
Yeah, it did. What you always say? God would have won.
Ah, drop that chicken dinner.
Okay, so now, and it's okay if you don't have a relationship that made you want to be single for a while, but is there one?
No, actually, it isn't. I just, I just kind of, I really don't know what made me do it.
Just want to be single.
I just wanted to be single. Just kind of, like you said, just find myself. And like, I used to take solo dates all the time. Loved it. And I don't know. Yeah, just want to find myself.
I
Just
think
enjoy
that's
myself, make myself happy. You know, set up some. It's okay for men to have standards too. It's not just
yeah,
women. Not just
absolutely it
women.
is.
You know,
Absolutely, it's great for men to have standards. Actually,
so set up my standards and everything because I've been with some women. It just wasn't all the way. Just wasn't all the way there.
hmm
We didn't really. We was together, but
not
that
like
was
together,
yeah,
together.
not a together together. We was just kind of there. Just didn't
hmm
really mesh like I wanted it to. So yeah,
I think that's good that you don't have a relationship that just like ruined your aspect and was like, man, I don't want to do this no more.
yeah. I mean, I've gotten out of some relationships for stupid reasons, but it wasn't bad enough to where it just had me just
Like writing off all women
yeah,
forever.
you're right. And I'm just you know what like. this and that, blah 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 blah. That's just no, I wouldn't like that. So I just I always go back to finding yourself. You gotta love yourself first,
Yeah.
and I take that to heart. I took that to heart.
Yeah. That's important.
Yes, it paid off. I can share all my loving with you.
You are so corny, but I love you so much. Oh my gosh. All right. So the very last one. Do you believe in soulmates?
Of course, sitting right next to her.
I believe in soulmates, but I also believe in like twin flames. 'Cause I believe that I have a few friends that are like soulmate friends. But I'll go back to two things that I was told. One of them was by you, one of them was by my twin flame, Onise. One of the things that Onise told me is that um, you are meant to find your person on earth. There is a person that is your person, and when you find them, you'll know because it'll be like something that you've never experienced before. And then I remember talking to you one day when we were just kind of sitting around talking about religion and, what happens when we're not on earth anymore.
Yeah,
And I asked you because once again, I am still working on my religion. So I'm, not like deep into the Bible and everything. I kind of go with it as it comes. But I remember asking you, so when you get to heaven, are we husband and wife up there too? And you told me no. You said because we are all God's children, that when we make it to heaven, we're brother and sister. And I told you that I can understand where that comes from, but I can also understand how God can send you your person on earth to then be your best friend when you get to heaven or the afterlife or whatever it is you believe in. And I say that because y'all, Michael is my person, but he's my best friend. Like if we were not in a relationship with each other, that would still be my ace boon coon. Like I would talk to him about everything, I would come to him about everything. If I was in a different relationship, they would probably be threatened by him because I feel like I'm that comfortable that I could tell him anything. We could talk about anything, whether it's something that we don't agree on or what. I can still talk to him about that. So I always took it to mean that you're meant to find your person on this earth. And the reason why they say that the best relationship started as friends first is because in the afterlife, you're meant to be that person's brother or sister. Like, I feel like the bond that we share is something that will last beyond a lifetime.
right.
So, God willing that we both make it to where we're supposed to make it to, and we see each other, I could dap you up and it's like no time has changed, like I still
Yeah,
feel about you the way that I would about a best friend because that's who you are to me. You're my best friend, my husband, you're all of that for me.
you gonna see me have the biggest smile.
So I definitely, definitely believe in soulmates. I don't feel like they always have to be a partner. I feel like sometimes they can definitely be a best friend,
Yeah,
but I 100% believe in it. I believe that there are people sent to touch you in your lifetime, for sure.
definitely. I just I love my parents. They've been married. What year is this? 2024.
Hmm.
They've been married. I gotta do my math in my head. Almost 33 years next month. So they they've laid the foundation and an example of what it's life of what it's like, you know. And obviously, I'm only child, you know. growing up, you seen the good, the bad. I mean, it happens, But looking at them now, like I said, you would never know that they've been through what they've been through, and that alone right there is what made me believe
That
that,
soulmates exist.
yeah, believe make me believe in soulmates, and that everybody has their person.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Yes.
Thank you for being my person.
Thank you for being my person, man, and I love you to death.
I love you too. Good conversation.
Real good.
That was a really good way to end this off. So, in closing, whatever, um, y'all know the deal. Y'all know the routine. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Comment. Comment. We want to see the comments. We want to see the discussions. We want to know what you're thinking when you listen to these or you hear these. We're here to talk about relationships. And honestly, y'all keep us going because everybody's always discussing relationships out here. So without y'all, we would
Right.
have nothing to talk about.
Y'all got any questions? Shoot them in the comment section.
Yes. Questions for us. Questions about our relationship. We might not answer them all, but
Definitely.
you can ask. You can always ask.
You may or may not get an answer, but hey.
At least you stepped out on faith.
Yes.
You asked. That concludes tonight's podcast. We hope that y'all enjoyed it because, as always, we definitely enjoyed it. So, until next time, you guys,
Love and peace.
peace.